that wasn't a regular lunch. That was just once a week.
Once a month.
Once a month.
Once a month. That I guess that's probably when the PTA started.
Okay. Maybe they were raising money for the PTA.
I guess I don't know, but I remember that.
And other than that, you just had to bring your lunch every day.
Oh, I came home, honey, every day.
You came home.
She's close.
Well, but everybody else.
How about the country?
What did they do?
They took their lunches, but I came home every day for lunch.
So I did.
In fact, I went 8 years without missing a day.
Were you lucky, or just went to school sick?
I was lucky, I guess, because I did miss one day, and that was for the funeral of my grandmother.
Uh-huh. Did you like school? Apparently, I was usually trying to go the other direction.
Yeah, I liked school. I excelled in some. I never did care for English or history, but I love math, and I still do math up here.
It's just easy for you. Was your dad good at math?
Oh yes. Well, you know, he drew the plans for Cedar Bluff Church according to scale. And everybody said, well, my daddy was talented. He did that. And when they got ready to build onto the church out at Cedar Bluff, I still had the plans, and I gave it to them, and they knew exactly where to hook onto it. Because it was built, made to scale.
When did your parents die?
Daddy died in 70, and Mother died in 74, I think it is.
Did they have to spend time in a rest home?
Mm-mm. None of my family's been in a rest home. And of course, like I say, my grandfather Randall lived with us for 20 years. Back then, you took care of your kids.
Yeah.
Your kids took care of you.
Everybody took care of everybody.
Yeah.
They helped raise the little guys, and you were close to your grandpa. And things change, it seems like.
And in 7 years of the time that he lived, he was blind. Lost his eyesight for some reason or other. And he had a severe spell. I mean, he suffered awful with his eyes. And sometime later after that, he said, Daddy, he said, you know, I'm beginning to see things. And he took him to Springfield to a Dr. Leslie down on Camel Street. And he fit him up with glasses. And when he came out, he could see Rubenstein signs and all the signs on that. And he was reading the newspaper when he passed away.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a miracle within itself.
Yeah, you said you went to school and only missed one day in 8 years, I guess. So you didn't, was there ever sickness in the house? Did anybody catch measles? Was there a doctor in town that you remember in Fairgrove?
Oh yeah, we had Dr. Ewell and Dr. Henson.
Where did they live?
I'm not sure where Dr. Ewell lived, but Dr. Henson lived there on the corner in that house that's on your land there on the corner that burned.
Okay.
That's where Dr. Henson lived. And in fact, I think the Hensons lived there when the house burned.
Right to the north of our house.
Yes.
There's just a piece in a photograph. There's just a little sliver of a house that's there. That's right about where the first fire station was. The one that's up on the hill. Just kind of between our house and the fire station. Did you remember going into any of the stores up in town and
Well, Johnny Jones had the pharmacy, and then Clarkson's had the.
We're talking about on the west side of the square.
Across the street, the dry goods store.
And the post office was always where it was until they moved it down here?
In earlier days, and my great uncle was the mail carrier, and my cousin had a picture of the post office, and it was on the west side of the street. And I hinted for that before she passed away, but I didn't get it. But I'd love to have had it for the historic society.
Sure.
But then Then the post office came across the street, I guess after the fire.
There was a big fire. I think it was about the first part of 1917. I think like January 1917.
Yeah.
A lot of the old two-story wooden buildings burned, and then your dad had a lot to do with rebuilding.
He built them all. He and Roy Triplett, a man by the name of Roy Triplett.
And I think Charlie Huff did a lot of the concrete work during that time. I think they were working together, kind of. Everybody in town had a job for a while, and they rebuilt almost all of the squares.
Your historical society has pictures of that, I think.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the youth of today how to live? Words of wisdom is what we're looking for here, Reba.
Well, I don't know whether I've got words of wisdom, but live it to the fullest.
Yeah. Life is short, isn't it?
Life is short. I've been blessed. I've had a lot of heart, and I'll tell you, you'll have heartaches.
Yeah.
And you'll have tribulations. But there's a God.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll see you through. And I just ask you to look to Him for.
He's helped you through a lot of situations,
through
hasn't he?
Christ. I always say in the morning when I get up, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Reba.
I hope I haven't bored you to tears.
No, we've been tickled to death.